Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Roszipou, and today I am going to show you how I made my 2020 setup for my new bullet journal. So I planned everything in my last journal, in my 2019 one, and I started by being relaxed, make a cup of coffee, but you can bring tea with us if you want, and mostly grab your pen, your pencil, or anything you need to create and start creating with me. Let's go! So first off, in my journal you can see that I already have an index. I don't really fill in the 4 pages that they gave me, but I usually write the most important pages. So I started with my key. I don't usually make a key really, but I wanted to try it out this year. I didn't really have a theme in mind for my journal, but I saw a couple of YouTube videos because I wanted to find inspiration and mostly challenge myself, and I saw one video in particular who was making his bullet journal like a annual yearly theme, and their theme was floral, flowers, and all that stuff. So I thought that maybe I could do the same thing. So I drew a couple of flowers, colored them in. On the next pages, I write a little quote that says, "Dear past, thank you for the lessons. Dear future, I am ready." Because I feel like 2020 will be a really challenging year for me. As you know, I finished college, so it's a new step for me in my in my life journey, if I can say it like this. So yeah, and on the other page I drew 2020, and I wanted to make like if flower petals were falling from the sky, a little bit like the sakura trees. And on the next page I did a grid spacing cheat sheet. I noticed that a lot of people are doing it. I made one last year, but I think I made too much mistakes in it, so I didn't really use it, but this time I made sure that I didn't make any mistakes. As you can see, when I was erasing my page, I noticed that the ink wasn't dry enough. So I am using my Jelly Roll Sakura pen in white so I can cover my mistakes. As you can see, you can barely notice it. So yeah, if you want to know what kind of tool that maybe you can get for your bullet journal, I highly recommend to grab a Sakura gel roll pen in white. I actually lost my record for the next pages, so it was 20 ways to love myself page. Basically, instead of doing a bucket list or things that I want, I thought that maybe I could focus more on the way that I could love myself more. So I'm going to write 20 things that maybe when I will open up my journal, I can look to it and remember that I am a beautiful person, a strong woman, and I can do anything I want in my life. So for the next pages, I am doing a future log / a year at glance. I was looking down to my my grid spacing cheat sheet, and I noticed that I made a mistake. Instead of following like the third lines, I followed the quarter lines. So I didn't have any choice than using my liquid paper for it, because my Sakura gel roll pen wouldn't be enough. And if you are wondering, I am using the Pigment Macron Sakura pen. I think they are the best like ink black pen that you can get on the market, mostly because I said earlier that I my ink wasn't dry enough, but actually they dry a lot faster than the usual pen that you can get. I was just a little bit too impatient to do my 2020 setup, but if you wait a minute or a bit, they dry a lot faster. And also their ink is really like black. I don't really know how to say it, but most of the time when I am using a black pen and I am sketching down things, I just notice how much they are not black at all. They are more like diluted with water. And yeah, so if you are looking for a really good black pen, I highly recommend the Pigma Macron Sacra. You can find them in a lot of sizes. I usually use the 01 point size, the brush size, and as well as the graphic 1 size. So as you can see, so the reason why I made 2 spreads, so 4 pages for my future log, is that I know that I will probably need another notebook for the rest of the year. So I wanted like a 6-month overview of my year. So for my next pages, I did a quick and simple goal spread. I separated in 4 main titles. The first one is goal for my main goals. The second one is my focus, so I can separate things that I need to focus on, mostly my mental health and all the things like this. Dreams is actually for the goals that I want to achieve, but it probably won't happen. But it's not my main goals. It's more like, oh, I would really like to be in a comfortable place, in a new place, but I don't know if I will move or anything like that. So dream could actually fill up that space. And the achievement title, it's mostly for like the milestone that I got through the year. For my next pages, I actually did 2 spreads. So the first one is a period tracker. As ridiculous as it could sound, I usually lost a lot of track of my periods, and even if I use apps on my phone, every time I am in my period, I'm like, oh really? Is it that time of the month already? So it could give me more of a yearly overview of when my periods come, and I can easily notice what is wrong with me during certain weeks, and I can look up to my bullet journal and see, oh, okay, maybe I will get to my period soon. So if you are a person who has periods, I think this spread will be really useful for you too. And for the next page, I wanted to try something that a lot of people are doing, but I never did before. It's a thing to check out spread. So I did a couple like flowery plant decoration first, and I just noticed that I didn't put any color for my last 8 pages. I guess I didn't feel like to put some colors in it. I find it perfect the way it is. And oh, my cat is coming now. So everyone meet Caro. Caro is a rescued black cat. He really likes to bother me when I am working, mostly because he wants some love. So you can see me petting him, giving little kisses, and taking care of him. He actually put some dirt on my notebook because he is going outside, so I got a little bit of dirt on my notebook, so I had to clean it up a little bit. So yeah, the categories of the things that I want to check out are new TV shows or movie, some book and comics, new music because I listen to a lot of genres of music. I really like K-pop, rock, 80s rock, pop, anything like that. So maybe I thought it would be a good idea to like write things or artists or songs that I want to check out. And the last categories is a video game. My next spread is actually an idea that I got from Plant-Based Bride. She is a content creator from Toronto. She had a blog on veganism and also bullet journal, and she did a Kanban spread. I didn't know what was Kanban before I watched a video, but I did some research and I thought that maybe it would be really useful for me. So Kanban is basically like a checkup list of the project that you are working on. So as you can see, I am making 6 steps. The first steps is in queue for the things that I know I have to do but I didn't begin yet. Sketch is for the project that I started sketching or that I started a draft, but anyway something had begun with that project. The next one is approbation, because most of my projects needs to be approved by someone, mostly about my book contracts, and when I'm doing like emote commission I need the approbation of the person who has commissioned me. Or maybe if I am working on a video, probation could also mean if I had all my record set up. I don't know why I write the rest in French, but I did. So the next thing I wrote was couleur. Couleur means color. I thought at first of when I am doing commissions or project, the coloring process is really long, and yeah, I thought that maybe it will be a step of its own. Finition is for the final steps, so if I need to move things around, if I need to edit something, that will be on that step. And done is for the things that I have done working, like everything is done, everything is finished. So basically, you don't write the things down in the spread itself. You can write the name of the project on a post-it that you are going to move in the different section or the different steps of the spread of your bullet journal. My next spread is actually like a follow-up of my Kanban spreads. It's going to be there where I will be writing down all the contracts and the commissions that I had. I actually made 2 pages, so I'm going to fill the first pages first and the second pages at last. I split them in 5 categories. So the first one is date and deadline. So it will be when the person has asked the commission or the contract, and if they have a deadline, I'm going to put it there as well. The name of the person that commissioned me, the description about the project, the price that we agreed on, and also the progress. So if the project has begun, I am going to do like a little square like I did in my key, and when it will be in progress, I'm going to put a little black marker in it, and when it's done, I am going to fill that little square. Also, as you can see, I use my Sakura gel roll pen to write down in white in my black squares where I put the title. So if you really like that kind of style in a bullet journal, the white pen from Sakura can also do that. And also about the Sakura pen, as I said earlier, I really like the Sakura Pigment Macron because they are really, the ink is really thick and really black. Please keep in mind that maybe your pen might not work with the Sakura gel pen, because depending of how dark your pen is and how the thickness of the ink, it might not work. But trust me, I can guarantee you that with the Sakura Pigma Micron, the gel roll works. For the next spread, you are probably wondering why I am doing like a schedule thing as if I was still in school. Maybe I miss school a lot, but those kind of spreads really help me. So I thought that maybe I could do the same thing, but for my part-time jobs. Because if you didn't know, commissions and contract don't pay the bills yet. So I have a few like part-time jobs. I am giving comic classes, art classes to kids at school, because that my schedule is changing like every 3 or 4 months or so. I really need to have a spread so I could write it down which school I am going to for every day of the week, at what time, if it's on lunchtime or if it's after school. And I will probably be changing school at the spring and at the new year of the school year. So I really thought that kind of spread could be really useful for me. And I also thought that maybe I could write down my activities. So when I will be doing some improv, I could write it down there. If I plan on a schedule for my Twitch channel, I could write it down there as well. And I also left a blank note page at the bottom of the spread, so I could write more information about the classes that I am giving it. So the next spread is actually a spread that I really want to try out for the new year, and it's a 2020 in picture spread. So for every month, I will try to print out a picture or draw a little something that represents the best memory of this month. So on the first page, I drew 4 squares, and on the second page, I drew 5. But as you can see, I didn't really have a lot of spaces, so I thought that maybe I could turn the 3 squares on the horizontal, but all the squares have the same size. And on the last page, I have 3 squares for the last 3 months. And for my last spread of my 2020 setup, I actually wrote a little quote that I found online, and I think that represents me a lot. So it says, "Wherever life plants you, bloom with grace." So that means that whatever I am going through, I will make it through, and I just need to bloom with grace. I just need to do my best, and I'm sure things will be working out. And I actually lost the footage for this this coloration of the spread. So for the last spread of this video, I am going to make my January title setup. So I really like drawing all the flowers. So instead for looking for another theme, I thought that flowers would be perfect in January. I wrote Janvier instead of January, but don't mind it. I also did a little quote at the bottom of my title. I didn't want to put it like on the other page because, as you can see, maybe I inked down a little bit too hard, but we can see a little bit of the quote on the other page, so I didn't want to write it down on that page. So the quote says, "This is the beginning of anything you want." And I think it's perfect for the first month of the new year. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my 2020 setup video. We will be seeing us really soon, but in my January 2020 plan up a video. Check out my social media to know when the new video will be coming up. I think it will come up tomorrow at the pace I am working, but yeah. So thank you so much. I really hope that you enjoy drawing with me, planning with me. I hope that your coffee or your tea was good, or maybe your hot cocoa. So I will be seeing you next time really soon. And mostly grab a pen and start create. See you soon.